What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to talk about the American Silver Eagle. And speaking of the American Silver Eagle, I want to talk about how I first got started stacking, how I first got into American Silver Eagles, and how the Silver Eagle very quickly became the foundation of my stack, the backbone of the stack. And how, in recent years, the Silver Eagle has been replaced, and what I chose to replace it with. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. 4 very quick things before we fully dive into the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you would like to, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate and learn on the app. Side note, I do still want to take 3 people before the end of the month, help them learn about the stock market, and help them kickstart their investment portfolios. If you want to be one of the 3, reach out. Webull link in the description. And 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, currency sleeves, microscopes, the list goes on. Any and all stacking supplies and any and all prepping supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Okay, so in today's video, obviously, what do we have on screen right here? We have a tube of American Silver Eagles on display. This is actually a tube of cull, or damaged, scratched, discolored American Silver Eagles. But guess what? At the end of the day, they are still Silver Eagles. And regardless of whether or not they're still Silver Eagles, they're still silver. Regardless of what the coin rounder bar is. At the end of the day, silver, silver. But that's what we have on display today. And out of the 20 that you can see or kind of see in frame, this one up top, upper right, the most discolored of the batch. I don't know how well you're really able to see that, but let's compare it to this one down here, the bottom right. You can probably see the difference. We have a 1989, and we're comparing it to a 2013. But I wanted to talk about something today. I didn't want to go through all 20 of these Silver Eagles and talk about the years or talk about the discoloration, the toning, the tarnishing. I don't want to talk about the pros and cons of Silver Eagles or the history of Silver Eagles or anything like that. I want to talk about what happened to the Silver Eagle. What transpired? What changed? What tweaked? What altered in recent years? So, for those of you that don't know, I started stacking tail end of 2017. I was going with generic silver rounds up front. I was going to a local coin shop, and I was just kind of going through the bin, picking out random designs that I thought were cool. I was probably 50% of the time ordering random design silver rounds off of a precious metal dealing website, and I would specifically choose the random design one. So I never knew what I was going to get. It was always a surprise, and that's kind of what I thought was fun. That's what I thought was the most exciting part. I never knew what I was going to get, and it was always something different, or 9 times out of 10, it was something different. Similar to going to the local coin shop and getting random generic silver rounds from the bin. Sometimes there'd be ones in there that weren't there last time I visited. So it was always fun, it was always exciting, and it was always kind of like a surprise. So that's how I first got started stacking. Very quickly, I like to say that I graduated on to the American Silver Eagle from generic rounds. And I say graduated because I did step it up a notch. The main difference at the time for me was just the premium, which I shouldn't even talk about premiums in 2017, 2018, because premiums hardly even existed back then. I remember generic silver rounds were about $1 over spot. Maple Leafs were about $1.25, and Silver Eagles were about $1.50 over spot. Mind you, spot price was $15, $16, $17 back then, so the premium was low and the spot price were low. Times were good. Spot prices were low. Gold was like $1,100, $1,200, $1,300. Spot prices were low. Premiums were low. Times were good. The stacking was good. But here's the thing. I don't want to talk about the spot price. I want to talk about the premiums. And I don't like to harp about premiums all that much because at the end of the day, I think we should all take the spot price and the average premium, add them together, and consider that to be the stack price, which is a term I came up with, or dare I say, a term that I coined, pun fully intended, a couple of years ago. Stack price is what we should call it. So I don't like to complain about premiums, but we need to be objective here and take it back to 2018 when I first got into American Silver Eagles. I decided that for the most part, the Silver Eagle, I wanted that to be the foundation of my stack. I wanted to get almost nothing but Silver Eagles. So that's what I started doing. I'd still pick up a random generic round every now and then. I was starting to get Canadian Maple Leafs on the side as well. I was like, all right, the Silver Eagle is going to be the foundation of my stack. I want to make the Canadian Maple Leaf kind of like second in command, if that makes sense. And I'll get random generic silver rounds with random designs for fun. So that's how I went about stacking for my entire first full year of stacking. I started the very end of 2017 and the entire year of 2018. That was pretty much my game plan. I'd pick up a little tiny piece of gold every now and then. I'd pick up a generic round every now and then. But for the most part, I was getting Silver Eagles. And fortunately for me, the spot price declined that year. It went from 17 where it started all the way down to about $14 halfway through the year, kind of bottomed out, and that's kind of where it stayed for the entire second half of the year. So I was able to get quite a bit of Silver Eagles. I got my fair share of Silver Eagles when spot price was $14 and premiums on Silver Eagles were $1.50. So $15.50 out the door grand total stack price per Silver Eagle? Whew. Take me back. But here's the thing. Yeah, I prioritized the Silver Eagle. Moving into 2019, not much had changed. Kept on focusing on the Silver Eagle. I'd get a couple Maple Leafs every now and again. I'd get some generic silver rounds every now and again. 2019 is when I wasn't that big of a fan of 90% junk constitutional silver. I didn't really like it just because I just preferred pure silver. It was just my thing. Didn't really care too much for the 90%. But I decided in 2019 I want to start mixing and matching it up a little bit, and just for the sake of having some fractional silver, I should probably get myself $1 face value every time I pick up silver. So every time I get a handful or a decent amount, a nice stack of Silver Eagles and maybe some Maple Leafs or generic rounds, I would always make sure to pick up $1 face value of junk silver from the coin shop as well. Or if I was ordering online, I'd make sure to include $1 face value of 90% silver in the shopping cart before checking out. That's just how I was going about doing things, and I wasn't enthusiastic about it, but that's what I was doing for the sake of diversification and having fractional silver in my possession. So that's how I went about 2019. 2020, I didn't plan on switching up my strategy. I went into 2020 thinking that I was going to stick with the game plan the entire year, as did the rest of the world. March of 2020 happened, and boom, we ended up on another planet. I still fully believe that that year was spent on another planet. Please convince me otherwise. Anyway, 2020 happened. Spot price got slaughtered for a brief period of time. I think it took about 2 weeks for it to recover back to where it was. It had climbed up to about $18, $19 before the crash. Silver fell all the way down to $11, $12, and it worked its way back up fairly quickly. But we saw that the premiums got hiked up through the roof. I'm talking $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 premiums per troy ounce. It didn't make sense. It was insane. Well, I mean, it did make sense. The online precious metal dealers, they're not in the business of losing money. So when spot price goes down, they crank up the premiums to make up the difference because they knew that we were going to be paying either way. Supply and demand. I get it. But when spot price recovered, they kept the premiums high. And that part didn't make sense to me. I mean, it did. It did make sense to me. They knew that we were willing to pay. From that angle, it makes sense. But at that point, they were no longer trying to, make up the difference. They were no longer trying to protect themselves from taking a loss. From that point, they were just, hey, you know what? These people are going to pay either way, so let's just drive the prices up to whatever the heck we want. They're going to pay regardless. And guess what? Instead of those, $8 premiums, if they slapped us with a $20 premium, guess what? 9 out of 10 people would still pay for it. What I had noticed that year is that the Silver Eagle didn't just have an $8 premium like a lot of the other silver did. Silver Eagle, a lot of the time, we were looking at like $15 premiums. It was crazy. I remember the spot price climbed up to $20 for the first time in years. The first time I had ever seen $20 an ounce silver. And Silver Eagles were being sold for $35, $36. Spot price is $20. $20. $35, $36. But that was almost exclusive to the Silver Eagle. Maple Leafs had $8 to $10 premiums. Generic silver rounds, $6, $7, $8 premiums. And I had noticed that initially, 90% silver wasn't really overly phased. Premiums were up a little bit, but ounce to ounce, it actually financially made way more sense to be picking up 90% silver. So mid-2020, I kind of came to that conclusion, and I started picking up, I would pick up some random coins that I'd liked. I believe I picked up a 10-ounce silver bar that year, a bunch of random coins, just ones that I liked. I picked up the Silver Kraken because that was released that year in 2020, Creatures of the North series. Yeah, the Aztec calendar, I got that in 2020, maybe 2021. Yeah, sure, I picked up some random cool-looking stuff, but for the most part, what was I getting? I was getting bags upon bags upon bags of silver, constitutional silver, 90% junk constitutional silver. For the most part, Washington quarters. So what's funny is I stacked so aggressively in 2018 that even still, present day in 2025, I still, to this day, have more Silver Eagles than any other coin, round, or bar. The Silver Eagle, even though I've picked up a grand total of, 6 or 7 in the last 5 years, I still have more Silver Eagles than anything else. The Silver Eagle is still the foundation. It's still the backbone of my entire stack. In fact, it gets even crazier. If you take all of the silver that I have that happen to be Silver Eagles and compare it to all of the silver, the coins, the rounds, and bars that I have that are not Silver Eagles, I have more Silver Eagles than non-Silver Eagles. How crazy is that? That's how much I prioritized the Silver Eagle during my first 2 years of stacking, maybe 2.5 years of stacking. I was aggressive on the Silver Eagles to the point where 7 years of stacking have gone by, and I still have more Silver Eagles, and in the last 5 years, I've picked up maybe 6 or 7 in total. To me, that's crazy to think about. Now, what I've done, since I came to the conclusion that 90% silver, at least in, early to mid-2020, and I noticed that 90% silver seemed to make a lot more sense, and I switched my focus to that. And the idea was to temporarily switch my focus to that. And I spent the rest of 2020, for the most part, picking up almost nothing but 90%. Sure, I'd pick up a random coin rounder bar that I found or that I thought looked cool, but generally speaking, I was pretty much all in on 90%. And most of the time, Washington quarters. I had noticed that the premiums were lower on them, and I started to understand 90% a little bit better. I got it. I always knew, diversification, fractional silver. But what I didn't really understand was the historical significance or what's really interesting and how much you can really learn from constitutional silver. So I started to get a little bit more interested in it, and I started to get a little bit more involved, and obviously the 90% stack was growing quite a bit as well, or not as quickly as the Silver Eagle stack was growing at $14 an ounce with $1.50 premiums pre-COVID, but the 90% stack was still growing. And you know how I said earlier that the Silver Eagle is the foundation of my stack and the Canadian Maple Leaf is second in command? At this point, 7 years deep, I can confidently say that the Washington Quarter is third in command. Or really 90% in general, but I have far more Washington Quarters than any other type of 90% silver coin. The Washington Quarter, or 90% in general, is now easily third in command for me. So ultimately, what was supposed to be like temporarily a switch just until things started to make sense again turned into pretty much the only thing I was focused on in terms of silver. When it came time to stack, I would make sure to go to the coin shop and pick up some 90% silver, usually Washington Quarters. If I were to place an order online, which I try not to do a whole lot of, support your local coin shop, people. Support small businesses. If you're going to shop online, no problem. But make sure you're getting half or more of your silver from the local coin shop. Shop local, support small businesses, please. But that's what I was doing for the whole second, third, and fourth quarter of 2020 and 2021. Now, 2021, I kind of like scaled back a little bit and I focused a little bit more on investing rather than stacking, growing my wealth rather than preserving wealth that I hadn't established just yet. That started to make sense to me as well. But I also noticed that the premiums on generic silver, generic rounds and bars, had been on a little bit of a decline while the Silver Eagles were still pretty high. Maple Leafs were still pretty high. Generic silver, Buffalo rounds, Sunshine rounds, things like that, had gone down a little bit. So nowadays, one of the plans that I have for myself, stacking moving forward, I want to spend this year, 2025, I want to spend 2025 growing the herd, expanding the herd. I want to get a lot more silver buffaloes this year. Basic generic silver buffaloes. And this one here, this is a Sunshine silver buffalo with the Mint Mark SI security feature, which is my buffalo of choice. This is my favorite type of silver buffalo. However, it doesn't have to be a Sunshine buffalo. It could be any silver buffalo. It could be Highland Mint, Golden State Mint. It doesn't matter. I don't care. A silver buffalo is a silver buffalo. And why is this? It's because silver is silver. A silver eagle is a silver eagle. A silver buffalo is a silver buffalo. Well, guess what? They're both a troy ounce of silver. They're both pure silver. So what I want to make the silver buffalo pretty much fourth in command. Or who knows? Maybe keep on getting the 90% silver, which I plan on doing, and basically stepping up above the Canadian Maple Leaf. Maybe start making the Washington Quarter second in command, dethroning the Canadian Maple Leaf and demoting it to third place, or potentially fourth place, if and when I can ever get the Silver Buffalo to third place. But point being is that these two right here, let me put a couple away. These two coins right here, or I'm sorry, this coin and this round right here, these two pieces of silver right here, are what I replaced the Silver Eagle with. Now, obviously, even if I were to aggressively stack these two pieces of silver, it would probably take me years and years and years to dethrone the Silver Eagle as the foundation of my stack and make, these first and second place and the Eagle third place. I don't even, at this point, I don't even know if I can do that. I don't even know how long it would take me to do that. Spot price is higher, premiums are higher. I'm investing rather than fully stacking. I'm not all in on silver. I'm taking it more as a hobby at this point. But either way, these two pieces right here are what I replaced the Silver Eagle with in terms of what I'm prioritizing when it comes to stacking silver. And these two pieces of silver right here they're fun. So obviously the Silver Eagle is a pure silver coin. Two things. It's pure silver and it's a coin, government minted coin. These two pieces of silver, one is one is the other. This is a government minted coin. It's not pure silver, it's 90%. This is pure silver, 3 nines fine, pure silver, but it's not government minted. Are either of those a deal breaker? To me, no. I think you can get the best of both worlds by picking up a little bit of both. You got some coins right here, government minted coins, backed by a sovereign government. World renowned, everybody knows the constitutional silver. It's respected, it's trusted, it's desired everywhere you go. Silver buffalo. No, it's not a government minted piece of silver, but it's still trusted and respected everywhere you go. And it's pure silver if that's something that's important to you. See, one thing that I learned, one thing 2020 taught me is that regardless of what it is, silver is just that. Silver. If it were all melted down, what is it? A bunch of melted silver. You're not going to say, hey, that used to be a silver eagle, but it's melted down now. But like I said, it used to be a silver eagle, therefore I'm going to charge you more for it. It doesn't work that way. A melted piece of silver is just a melted piece of silver, and at the end of the day, when it's all melted down, it's just that. Silver. Not going to be able to get away with saying, oh, that's a melted silver eagle versus a melted silver buffalo. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work like that. No one views it like that. No one cares about that. Silver is silver. And for those of you who are similar to me, where, yeah, you're stacking because it's a hobby and you're interested in the coins, rounds, and bars, and you think that they're fun to talk about and fun to explore and fun to discover new coins, rounds, and bars out there, and maybe get your hands on something that you have never gotten your hands on before, and you can add it to the stack, add it to the collection, sure. Maybe you're stacking for that reason right there, but primarily you're trying to get the best bang for your buck. You're trying to get as much physical silver content in your possession, as much physical silver weight as you can, and be the owner of that physical silver weight for the lowest possible dollar amount. These two pieces right here seem to be the best place to go. The best route to that destination being as much silver as you can get your hands on for the lowest dollar amount. 90% silver carries a lower premium than any other silver coin that I can think of off the top of my head. An ounce of silver worth of 90%, which would be about 6 of these right here, 6 90% silver quarters equal about a troy ounce of silver, 3 90% silver half dollars equal about a troy ounce of silver, or 14 silver dimes equal about a troy ounce of silver. So whether it be 3 half dollars, 6 quarters, or 14 dimes, all 3 of those equal about a troy ounce of silver in weight. A troy ounce of 90% silver carries a lower premium than a 1 troy ounce silver coin, whether it be a silver eagle, or a maple, or a Britannia, or a Libertad, or a kangaroo, or a tiger. 90% carries a lower premium. And it's fractional. You can break a troy ounce if need be with that 90%. While on the flip side, the silver buffalo, the most popular silver round out there, and for some strange reason, the lowest premium silver round you can get your hands on. Go to any coin shop or any online precious metal dealing storefront and look through their silver rounds. The silver buffalo is probably at the very top of the list if you sort it by price, lowest to highest. Silver buffalo is always right there. And not for nothing. Beautiful art. Got the Native American profile on one side. You got the buffalo on the other, regardless of if it has the security feature. Washington quarter. Obviously Washington on one side. And the beautiful, gorgeous eagle on the other. Either way, to me, it's a win. Both of these are the way to go, as far as I'm concerned. So a little bit of these and a little bit of these to replace these. And no, I'm not selling my silver eagles to do it. No, every single silver eagle that I have in my possession will remain in my possession. The only reason I would consider forking over a silver eagle is if the gold to silver ratio gap closed in, and I can kind of tweak it a little bit. Let's just say, hypothetically, the gold to silver ratio went to 1 to 25. If I could weasel my way into maybe 1 to 20, 1 to 21, 1 to 22, 1 to 23, by factoring in the premiums a little bit, like, hey, it's not just silver, but it's also it's also silver eagles we're talking about, which carry a higher premium. We make something work here? Yeah, maybe. But guess what? This year, once I get myself back on track, had a little bit of a setback toward the end of February. Here we are, mid-March, and I'm rebounding. I'm getting back on track. What I plan on doing once I fully get back on track, I want to start picking up silver eagles frequently. Once a month, once every 2 weeks, maybe even once a week. Even if it's just 1 or 2 rounds. Even if it's just 1 or 2 ounces of silver. I want to grow the herd. I want to expand the herd of silver buffaloes. And I want to make the silver buffalo, I want to get it as close to 4th in command as possible in my stack rankings. The silver eagle, I don't really think there's anything I can do. I think the silver eagle will remain number 1 for a long, long time. 2 is still the Canadian maple leaf. And I have to really go and break things down, because the Washington quarter, or 90% in general, at this point, could very well be 2nd in command. But I'm going to say it's 3rd in command until I really assess exactly what I have and really do the math. So I'll say 90% is still 3rd in command. The buffalo? Nowhere near 4th in command, but I want to get it there. That's a goal of mine. That's a plan of mine. That's a mission of mine. And I think I could do that. Give me the rest of the year to pick up a couple of silver buffaloes every week or every other week or once a month, once or twice a month. I think I can get there. And I'll still pick up some 90% from time to time. But this year, I want to prioritize the buffalo. And I want to continue saving up because, yeah, I do definitely have my eye on the gold buffalo as well. I really want one. I've been craving one for the last 7 years. I think it's time to finally do it. It's killing me to know how far apart the gold to silver ratio is, so we'll wait a little bit later in the year and see if things make a little bit more sense. But either way, 2025, for me personally, it's going to be the year of the silver buffalo. I'm going to pay myself in silver buffaloes at least once a month from here on out. Even if it's just a handful. Even if it's just a couple little rounds. Every month. Maybe even more than once a month. I'm going to pick up just a couple of silver eagles. And stack them high. That's the plan. And as for silver eagles, I don't care if they're type 1. I don't care if they're type 2. I kind of lost my interest. Now, yeah, of course, it's the pure silver coin of my country. I am grateful, thankful, and blessed to be an American. And as much as I love the silver eagle, type 1, not too big of a fan of the type 2. I've been complaining about it for the last 4 or 5 years. I just don't love it. Sorry, I don't love it. I love this. My favorite thing about the type 1 silver eagle is the reverse. I love this coin right here. I love this design. I love this artwork. The obverse as well, which is the same as the type 2. Obverse did not change, only the reverse. It's a beautiful coin. But at the end of the day, doesn't matter what the coin is. Doesn't matter what the ounce of silver is. Whether it's a coin, a round, or a bar. Doesn't even matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter if it's even pure silver or not. Now, obviously, I prefer pure silver still, but at the end of the day, silver's silver. And once you come to that realization, once that finally clicks, once that finally registers, it's going to make a world of a difference. See, I was all in on silver eagles, and I'm glad I was at the time, because in 2017, 2018, 2019, that made sense. The premium difference between a silver eagle and a generic silver round was like 50 cents of a difference. Yeah, for an extra 50 cents to have something that's minted by a sovereign government, the most popular pure silver coin out there, the most trusted, respected, sought after coin on the planet, for only 50 additional cents per troy ounce, yeah, of course that made sense. But now that the premium difference is multiple dollars, a multi-dollar difference between a silver eagle and a silver buffalo, and an even bigger difference between a silver eagle and a troy ounce worth of 90% silver. I think these make more sense. That's just what I think. That's just what I believe. That's what makes the most sense to me. Financially speaking, you get a better bang for your buck picking up 90% silver and generic silver than you do picking up government minted coins. There's no real arguing that. That right there is not my opinion. My opinion is that these right here are the way to go. And these right here are the way that I'm going from here on out. These right here have been the way that I'm going, and I'm reintroducing silver buffaloes to the stack. I'm going to start picking up silver buffaloes again, and like I said, growing the herd. I want this right here to make its way toward the top, potentially become number one. You never know. We'll see. We'll get there. But that's how I went about replacing the American Silver Eagle. I'm no longer interested in the American Silver Eagle. Of course, it's a beautiful coin. And if someone were to offer one to me for a fair, what I consider to be a fair premium, absolutely I'd pick it up. Silver, silver. I'm not going to say, oh, absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to take that off you. That's a Silver Eagle. Oh, I wouldn't say that. No. Heck yeah, take my currency. Shut up and take my fiat is what I would say. Give me that Silver Eagle. Will work for silver is what I would say. But the conclusion that I came to, coming around full circle here, is that regardless of what the silver is, you have to ask yourself one question. Is it silver? If the answer is yes, I'll take it. If the answer is yes, and if the premium is fair, I will take it. And the premium is much more fair on other coins, rounds, and bars out there than the Silver Eagle. And because of that reality, I'm no longer stacking Silver Eagles, and I have not for years. The last time I picked up a Silver Eagle was 2021. It's 2025. I have not picked up one single American Silver Eagle, Type 1 or Type 2. Not one. Since 2021. And I still have more Silver Eagles than any other coin that I have. Any other coin, round, or bar that I have. Any other coin, round, and bar, add it all up together. I still have more Silver Eagles. Which is a fantastic problem to have. I understand that. But I'm no longer interested in picking up any more. But not for me. We went our separate ways. It was a mutual decision. We parted ways amicably. And now we're just friends. But yeah, anyway, coming around full circle, silver is silver. That's what you got to focus on. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter where it's from, doesn't matter what picture's on it or even what the level of purity is. None of that matters. What matters is whether or not it's silver. If it's silver, I don't care what shape it is. I don't care if it's rectangular. I don't care if it's circular. I don't care if it's the shape of a freaking star. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care if an eagle is on it, if a maple leaf is on it, if a buffalo is on it. I don't care if Rosie O'Donnell's on it. Is it silver? And is the premium fair? If yes and yes, I'll take it. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos. And follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS on both X and Instagram. As we wrap up the video, 4 very quick things. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. If you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave the Amazon affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3. If you're not already investing and you plan on starting investing, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to learn and navigate on the app. Side note, like I said before, I do still plan on taking 3 people before the end of April and helping them learn about the stock market and helping them kickstart their investment portfolios. If you want to be one of those 3, please reach out to me either in the comment section or X or Instagram. And let's get you rocking and rolling. We will link in the description. And fourth and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether they be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, currency sleeves, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all stacking supplies, and any and all prepping supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Once again, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me on the fact that silver is silver, regardless of what it is? When it's all melted down, it's just that, silver. Doesn't matter what it is, where it's from, if it's a coin, round, or a bar, if it's 3 nines fine, if it's 4 nines fine, if it's 90% silver. What's on it? What country it's from, whether a sovereign government minted it or not, or if it was privately minted, or if it was poured by your everyday Joe Schmo like me, it doesn't matter. Silver is silver. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? Let me know in the comments. And on top of that, if you're someone like me that would prefer to be stacking Silver Eagles, and if the premiums were fair, you would still be stacking the Silver Eagles, but nowadays maybe you just can't justify picking up any Silver Eagles anymore because of the price tag attached to them. What did you replace the Silver Eagle with? When it came to your stack, what coins, rounds, and bars you're stacking, what did you replace the Silver Eagle with? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.